All right, so today our main focus is we're going to start looking at borrowing, credit card stuff. Okay, and there's a few definitions that you guys need to write down. You have your notes in front of you, but you don't have the definitions. And what you need to do is take some time to write them down. Okay, so the first one is installment buying. This is purchasing an item with the understanding that you'll need to pay off that loan for the cost of a product on a monthly basis. Okay, and the next one is installment loan. This one is a loan that you pay off with payments on a regular schedule, weekly, monthly, or some other time period of payments. Installment buying can also be on, actually, it can, most of the time is on a monthly basis actually. But you could also maybe pay it weekly.
So that definition is
You can just leave it as monthly because that's the most general one.
I'm getting technical here.
But my one question to you about these two things is, what is the difference? They're so much alike. What is the difference? Can you think of an example in real life the first one would be like? A house? Yeah, but there's a one type of buying a house that would be like this, and it's called rent to own. Okay? So the first one, installment buying, would be rent to own. Have you ever seen those furniture stores that have rent to own? Where you can go and pay a monthly payment for a couch, but it's a rent to own type of issue. Type of thing. It's different than buying it on credit and then making monthly payments. Okay? Rent to own, sometimes like with a house, somebody will say, hey, you know, like the housing market got really bad a few years ago and it was really hard to sell a house. So a person that wanted to buy the house but couldn't get loans right then because the financing was really hard to get, they could say, hey, Mr. Owner, can I rent your house till I pay off your mortgage and then I'll own it? Okay? So it's different because you're not actually going through banking process.
So it'd be like an increased rent then?
Yep. Usually they would charge a little bit more in rent in terms of interest. Yep. Yep. So rent to own is a little different. And you can see that actually there's a shop on Lake Street that I used to drive by every day. Is like rent to own anything. You could rent to own a computer or other things. Okay. The other thing that you could put under installment buying would be layaway. And that's getting to be popular again. So when you go and you, like at Walmart or Target or something, sometimes you can hold a piece of inventory in the back and pay it off until you own it, and then you could pick it up and take it home. That's layaway. Okay. Whereas installment loan is more of a credit card type of thing. You put it in your credit card, you're actually having a loan, and you bring it home, and technically you own it, but you pay for the loan. Okay? Then there's the fixed installment loan. You pay a fixed amount each time period until the loan is accrued and interest are paid off. On this one, I would say a car loan is a fixed installment loan. Okay? Whereas a credit card is not a fixed installment because it's going to vary month to month depending on how much you use your credit card and how much you paid off the month before. Whereas a car loan is the same every time. Except for maybe your very last payment. But most of the time it's the same. And then the last one you need to write down is the down payment. Is how much you put towards the purchase of whatever it is that you're buying before you take out a loan to pay for the rest of it. So now I want to talk about amount financed. What is what the consumer actually borrows, and there is a little formula for that. the amount financed is equal to the cash price minus the down payment. So say you buy a piece of, say some computer, okay? You buy a computer for $1,000 and you have $250 in cash right now to put towards it. So what would be your amount financed? Yeah, so you would take 1,000 minus 250, right? So that'd be like 750. Okay? The next one is the total installment price. The total installment price is the sum of all monthly payments plus the down payment. Okay, say you have a car and you're making monthly payments on your car of like $225 a month. You have a 60-month loan. So that would be $220 times 60 plus whatever you put down on it. Say you put $1,000 down on it. That would be your total installment price if you added that together. Okay? And the finance charge. The finance charge is the interest on the installment loan. So it's whatever you found in the middle here, the total installment price minus the agreed upon price that you pay, that you said, okay, I'm only going to pay $18,000 for this car. Which isn't exactly true because you're paying interest, right? Unless you pay cash. So we're going to do an example now. We're going to look at a car that you're purchasing for $14,000. So you can finance this car by paying $280 down and then $315 a month for 60 months. So first of all, I want you to figure out what your amount that you finance. Take a minute and see if you can figure that out based on the three things we have above. Okay? The amount financed here in this case was $14,000 minus the amount that you made for your initial down payment, which was $280. So you should have financed $13,720. Okay, next I want you to figure out the total installment price. Okay, so use what the formula was above to try to find that one now. So your total installment price should have been the down payment of $280 plus what you pay monthly, $315 times 60, which was $19,180. So now we want to figure out what the finance charge is. So remember, you're going to take the finance charge is equal to the total installment price minus the cash price that you agreed to pay. If you did that, you would get this. $19,180 minus $14,000, which was the original price you agreed to pay, and you actually paid $5,180 to finance that car. All right, so on the next page that you have steps for the finance charge for $100 finance. So here you have a formula. You're going to take the finance charge that we just found, which was $5,180, and divide it by the amount that you financed. That's that amount minus the deposit or the down payment, and times 100. So you're actually paying $37 for every $100 you financed for this car. Okay? So now what we're going to do is look at the APR table down below, and we're going to look in the area of 60, the row of 60 right here, because that's what we had agreed that we're going to pay in 60 installments, and go over to find 37. And if you notice, 37 actually ends up being between 36.52 and 38.06. I'm just going to round up. Oops, there we go. I'm going to round it up to be the 38.06 right here. And then look at my APR. What was it? 13.5. Okay? So once again, what I did was I'm looking at I already know that I'm making monthly payments of 60 monthly payments. And before I found out my my value up here that I found was the finance charge was $37 per 100. So I'm looking for that in this, and then I look up and find out what my APR is. Okay? Any questions about that one?
Yeah, why is it 38 instead of 36?
Good question. I just rounded up because it's going to be, they're going to want to get as much money off of you as they can. They're not going to round down for you, for one thing. Yeah, scroll up. Okay. Okay, unearned interest. So on the top of your next page, you have that definition. You write that down. Is the amount of the finance charge that one can save by paying the entire loan off early, or the amount by which the finance charge is reduced if the loan is paid off early. Some people are really into paying off early because you do save a lot, and so sometimes what they'll do is double their payments. Instead of going 60 months, they'll go 30 months, even though they have a 60-month loan. And that's one way of paying off early.
Can you scroll it up?
That's as far up a scroll I can do. Okay, so there are two ways to compute how much you can pay, how much you will earn of your interest that you were supposed to pay if you paid it off early. Okay, so there's the actuarial method, and then there's the rule of 78. And I know for a fact the rule of 78 was mentioned on Money Scale. Okay. Okay, so the first one, you're looking at K. K is the remaining number of scheduled payments. Okay, and R is the regular monthly payment. V is the finance charge per 100. We found that earlier on this. So let's move on down, and I will show you how to do this with our current car that we've been looking at. Okay? So this is what you guys need to write down for the actuarial method. U equals KRV over 100 plus V. Okay, so we know that K, if we're going to make, we're going to finish paying it off after 24 payments, we're supposed to have 60 payments. So our leftover for K is what? It's 36, right? Okay, so 60 minus 24 is 36. Our normal payments that we make every month was 315. And then I need to go look up a V. Okay, so this is the part that you guys need to really pay attention to because this isn't obvious. I need to find V. I know that my APR is 13.5, and I have 36 remaining payments. So if you go back to the table here, if you look at 36, the row of 36 over to 13.5, that's where I get 22.17. That's my V value. Okay? Okay? So, that's where 22.17 came in. Then if you figure this out, you have an interest rebate, so to speak, of $2,057.85. Okay? But what I really want to know is how much am I going to have to pay off at month 24 in order to get this, you know, how much am I going to have to actually pay to get paid off in month 24? So I'm going to put in my current payment, which is $315. My total remaining payments, which were 36 times 315, minus my rebate that I would have gotten if I paid it off early. So if I wanted to pay out this off at month 24, I would have to pay $9,597.15. That's the check I would have to write out to the loan company. Okay, that is the actuarial method. So we're going to look at the rule of 78 the same way. The rule of 78 uses this formula. U equals K times K plus 1 over N times n plus 1 times the finance charge you were originally supposed to pay. Okay, so we already found K. K was 36. It's 36 times 37, basically on the top, right? The amount of our loan was N. It was for 60 months. 60 times 61 on the bottom. Okay, and this is what we found on page 1. 5,188. That's the amount of the loan, the finance charge that they financed.
But it says the finance charge is $5.
So if you go back to page 1, okay, go down. My finance charge we figured out in part F.
Yeah.
That's what that is, 5,180. Okay, so on this one, that's where I'm putting that. So when you figure this all out, my rebate in this case is $1,885.18. So if I wanted to find my payoff amount, it's my current monthly payment plus my 36 times my monthly payments, what's left, minus my rebate. Okay, so your assignment, you guys, you got 6 problems you're supposed to work on today.